And we're back for the 39th installment of this show, Half Hour Henshin, when we talk about basically the Toku stuff we're watching, the Toku stuff coming out. And we are super excited because at some point after we finish recording this, we are each going to go see Shin Kamen Rider.
Yeah, 2 hours apart. So you're seeing it like pretty much you're pretty much leaving the moment you hit end record.
once we hit end record, I still have a bit of time. Once we hit end record, I'm gonna go like shower and stuff. But yeah, basically, because the movie theater is pretty close to where I live. But
Okay.
but
Yeah,
anyway, yeah,
I have like a 20-minute drive to mine, so there's
yeah,
that.
I have like a 10. But we'll
Oh
see.
man.
Oof.
Okay, so first off, like I guess we always start off with Geets, and since we're like going less for the episode summaries, can we talk about how Win is like a super good guy this episode?
Yeah, he's been free. He doesn't have to be like a lackey of the organization anymore, and I like him so much more like this.
Yeah, and yeah, it's like he basically shows up and just like warns everyone. It's like yo guys, I'm leaving. You guys are effed.
The
Just letting
grand
you know.
end is coming. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he basically just tells we basically like the reason why I say that first is because we start off the episode with him talking, saying, "Hey, you're gonna lose your memories." But yeah, but it's cool though because like they go to the archives. Him and Sumuri go to the archives, and he's actually looking for information on this Mitsume, Ace's mom, and it's like crazy. And like they keep talking about how there's no way to make a new human, there's no way to reproduce in the future.
Yep.
So how did this happen? I'll get back to that later.
Again, Geets is not beating the Jesus allegations.
I didn't want it. There's 3 days and 3 nights.
Yep.
3 days and 3 nights. Immaculate conception. But
another thing, we get the vision drivers back by way of basically letting Baroba and oh god, I forgot the frog's name, Karaka, have their wish, Kekara. So they have a wish that gets granted, and we just don't know what either of them is.
Yeah, which is a really clever way because like we get more supportive stuff. I think like that's their way of exiting the show for now, unless they do come back. But the great part though was that like Zin, just says, "Hey Niram, here's the vision drivers," and then he picks up one and he just tosses the other one to Ace. Don't forget, I'm on Ace's side.
Yeah, I love the like. I'm a Fox's supporter, so you should have expected as much from me.
It's so good.
It's adorable. I love their dynamic of like, I don't know, of like it feels like really brotherly, like the brother I look up to, the fan of the guy I'm a fan of or whatever. We also got some sad stuff with Neon and Neon TV.
Yeah, like they're wondering where she is.
Yep.
And all that stuff. And like it's really sad. And not only that, like not only is that sad, the fact that both Keiwa's sister and Neon are eliminated this episode.
Yep, they get taken out. But again, we gotta remember, first of all, part of this is an act of mercy from Buffa. Like, they're eliminated, but they're not dead. And especially with Keiwa's sister, I'm really glad we didn't have to deal with anything like, oh, it's Keiwa versus his sister. Now he has to be the one to like sacrifice himself or take her out.
Yeah. What's also really sad too is it's like like we said, act of mercy. Buffa just straight up says, "Don't ever become riders again."
Yep.
I will say though that to make it dramatic with him breaking the cores, they break up into so many more pieces that he actually has.
Yeah. They really did. They went really hard with that.
Yeah. It's like you basically see 2 halves fall and then you see like 18 pieces fall afterwards. It's so funny.
Yeah. It's just a little bit of extra flair, Oof.
Yeah, and then Man, it's like we already said the big thing, which was he's not beating the Jesus allegations because that happens we basically find it out at the end of the episode. But talking about Kawa, like Kawa really just wants to like avenge, and it's like
He
he
wants to
started to
avenge, but he
like
wants
not
to like save everyone as well. Like
hmm
it's I don't know.
yeah. But
Yeah.
man, like,
So
it's like I just really love how like their fight, like Kayla's almost death is stopped by
by
Win.
win. And again, the big thing this time is we see Kawa who's like just kind of clashing into this. He survived just barely because Win basically just goes up, knocks the thing out of Buffett's hand, goes like, "Time's up. Guess you gotta keep playing." Uh, but now because Kay was the one who had the stuff from his sister, he's the one who's up there with him,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to get ready. He's saying, "Hey." We get a bit of the background with the forbidden love. I was wrong. I thought his dad was from the future, so it turned out Mitsume was from the future.
Yeah, true.
Because I was thinking it was the other way around. Because in my thought, the future people could already do the time travel, right?
Mm.
And so they went back in the past, and in the past they found someone who had the powers of creation, and eventually with her and Geets' dad, they would have basically made Geets through some form of immaculate conception.
Yeah.
But it was more like she was from the future, and she gained this power by praying for 3 nights and 3 days. Again, really not beating those allegations at all. And while this is happening, she gains the power to create a new world, which immediately means she gets taken by the company and turned into the god now.
Yeah, that's a bit messed up. And then, it's like, because the Grand End is here, we might as well just get rid of everything. Strike the set. Let's do this. And yeah, so pretty much man, I don't think we ever like, heard his actual name. But I remember looking it up. But what is it? Sweru.
So
That's the name of the actual executive producer of the organization. And he basically like just sets up Mitsume to the goddess to crumble and
die
fall
in this world with them, and they're talking about how they've gotten a new like inheritor for that power, which means that like when Ace showed up at the end of that round, it really was Sumuri who like basically prayed him into existence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like obviously they've been like setting up Samuri from the beginning, like actually making her like very very sympathetic
Very
to like
sympathetic,
everyone.
but also before her disappearance, we knew that Mitsume used to be a navigator, so they're even in the same role.
Mm-hmm.
We get to see a cool fight basically between Geets and
Yeah,
Gazer 2, or no, not
yeah, yeah. What
not
I really
Gazer.
like,
Yeah,
no.
it is Gazer. It's just not
Glare.
2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gazer.
because it's Glare 2.
What's really cool about this though is that like they really did set it up with how there's a distinct power level of like each of the belts. So like just the normal desire driver is like the lowest of the low, and then after that it's the supporters. After that it's the vision driver, and then like the only reason why Buffa was able to kill Glare 2 was because he was a cheater.
Well, I mean, it was a trick, yeah.
And
it wasn't so much of the like kill. It was the like the like in the tournament where the rules, if you step out of the thing, he like tricked him out of the stage
Mm-hmm.
more than he actually took him out. And then we get to see a piece of Mitsume's like statue body fall in front of Geets, and he is devastated.
No, from below the eye. I wonder.
Yeah, I wonder if there's some symbolism, and he's just like she's crying out, you know he's and the producer's just like, oh, just forget, just get over it, and then he screams.
Even his mom is saying, please just forget about me, and he's like, no, I'm not going to. And then Like, you know, this has literally been his goal throughout the entire series, to see his mom again. And, you know, they finally are really reunited.
Yep.
And in
And then
this
we get to see
way,
him just like summon the buckle,
yeah,
which
like,
is
you know,
great.
yeah, Boost Mark 3, pure white top. And I think we're actually getting our Berserk form finally.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, man. Yeah, we're finally getting our Berserk form. And yeah, it basically just shows him just no selling one of the geyser attacks.
I love that he just destroys the little geyser orbs. That's really funny
Mm,
to me. Like he's like, no, let's just not.
yeah. And then the rule: management are the sole developers and managers of all Conrad technologies, with no exceptions. And I love how they do that after Geets wills in Boost Mark 3.
Yep. And at what's it called? Well, I don't know if you notice, but they do management of the sole developers and managers of all common writer technologies with no exception. And then you see the fucking Geets like fire tail come in, and the no exception like gets taken off.
Oh yeah. Okay, I missed that one because I only watched the episode once, and it was just like, yeah,
Yeah.
there's that.
Goodbye world. It's all ending. We get to see the supporters leaving.
Mhm.
Kawa transforming with what looks like, honestly, like he's so fucking pissed. Uh
Yeah. What's and then we see Yearning F, which basically means this is gonna be the ending of this arc. So that means the next arc is gonna be most likely the final arc, unless this is gonna be like a Yearning EX.
yeah, this might be a two-part ending. But
Yeah.
but the big thing is we get to see Geets with like this guy with the fox mask, and I wonder if that's
Hmm.
supposed to be like, because usually whenever there's a berserk form, there's like some sort of like inner world where we get to see them like struggling with this. So I
Hmm.
wonder if that's him in the inner world, and this fox is like his rage or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And yeah, and this is just Geets 9, and it, like, honestly, like, I'm kind of laughing over how we're getting Boost Mark 3 for 30 seconds of an episode, and then the next episode we're getting Geets 9. I mean, most likely we're gonna get it during the last, like, you know, 3 minutes, but at the same time it's just really funny how we're only getting one episode in between these forms.
yep. I love the new eyes that look like crazy eyes for this like
Yeah,
angry form. They look so good. I also love that like the tails get turned into like his cape things on the side.
mm-hmm.
Whew.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I mean, it's actually really crazy because, like, you know, his regular form, he actually just has one tail and it's just a scarf. Yeah,
Yep,
it's super cool.
because we basically went from like one tail to five tails to nine tails. Like I think that's supposed to be kind of the big thing. The big thing is like the nine tail foxes, like as they get older, get more tails.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
But
it's yeah, it's crazy. Like, everything is just coming together. Everything is just coming together. And talking about things coming together, yeah, we talked about comics on this podcast too, and Supermassive came out last week.
yep, Supermassive again being a big crossover between stuff happening vaguely in like the Supermassive universe of comics, Radiant, all the Radiant issues, the main one being black, but they're being red and pink, and hopefully a yellow at some point.
Mhm.
We hope.
I really want to see Yellow.
I want to, yeah,
Oh,
I want to
man.
see more about him. But and the Rogue Sun, Dead Lucky, Inferno Grow Red. Technically, the Cowl is part of this universe as well.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, I actually don't know about Cal because I never heard about it.
Cowl
I mean,
was an old comic.
oh, okay.
That's why. So the Cowl is an and no one. Cowl was an old comic that they did, or that I think Kyle Higgins worked on.
Mhm.
And it is, if you were reading the Radiant Block stuff, don't you remember that they have like a superhero that they like, and they have like the like Radiant Black versus the Cowl like movie.
Yeah.
So the Cowl is basically like an older superhero thing that he worked on that is just canon to this universe.
Oh, okay. Interesting. But yeah, man, this like, honestly, it's really great because this, like, Supermassive, like, just is such a side story.
Yep.
Like
I
it's like if you know the plot points of what happened before, like, oh cool, so that's everyone's thoughts going into this, but this is just a fun little ride. Like what's going on here. Like I think the
it's
only person that actually gets like actual like that has actual um like progression is technically BB Dead Lucky. Like we actually see where she's been because like the first part of her series pretty much ended already. So like this is the next bit of hers. It's not in like, and we don't know when Dead Lucky's coming back yet.
Yeah, because Dead Lucky was just a 5-issue series at the beginning, so 5 or 6. I don't remember
Yeah,
exactly.
6 issues.
Okay, 6 issues. But it was
Mhm.
one trade basically. But yeah, we get to see more of Vivi. I really like these issues because they're really fun. Doing them yearly means that you can just kind of see what everyone's up to, and
Mhm.
you don't have to deal with like everyone's current what's the word I'm looking for, like status quo. They kind of just tell you. You find out that the radiant is broken and that they kind of like have to share the power.
Yeah, and also the poll ends in 2 days. I mean, it's gonna end like after this
Do
episode
you
goes
know do
live,
you know how
but
I found out about the poll? Because I wasn't I told you that I found
caught
out
up.
about it a bit later because I wasn't caught up on the issues. I
Mm.
let I So currently there is a poll to see who continues to be a Radiant Black because the power can only belong to one person.
Mm.
And I saw someone basically quote tweeting a tweet from Kyle Higgins about the poll with the choosing Marshall image, but it was just one big edit and it was like, let Marshall cook. And it was so dumb. And I'm like, what is this about? What is going? And then I found out about it like that. And then like, damn it. And then I went and caught up on the issues, and I got to that last one where they basically they basically do the thing where they give you like the QR code at the end to be like, go vote.
Like it's super cool. Like I mean, okay, so I was at the comic book shop. I was like, when you told me about this, I went to the comic book shop when I picked up Supermassive. I basically just flipped over to the end and I just saw the QR code. I'm like, oh, that is super cool. Also, like, also it really is impressive about how fast they're gonna be getting this issue out after the poll, because they said you find out on July 21st and the poll ends in like a day, so like it takes them like a month and a half to like get the issue out, so it's
Yeah,
probably
so
gonna be pretty
we
big.
we already knew how that was. One of the things I'm assuming is because the way Radiant Black as a story has been like structured has been like we get like a couple issues of story about like the main two, and then every once in a while we get like a side story.
Mm,
That's where we get like a kind of like the first beginning of Radiant Red and Pink and Yellow. And so
mm,
what I'm wondering now is there's an issue coming here in June just because it's a monthly series. So I wonder if the issue we're gonna get in June is gonna be like another side issue. That way, because obviously they have to wait for the results of the poll, and the side issue is
mhm.
probably done. And then once the poll is done, they'll start. Because I'm assuming they're writing stuff out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They basically
I
they probably are like, if Marshall wins, we want it to go like this. If oh
Nathan.
god, Nathan. Oh, for some reason I was gonna say Nate. Uh,
I mean,
but
close enough.
yeah. If Nathan wins, we want the story to go like this. And I wonder, one of the things is like, I wonder if there's gonna be like margins for that, where like if they had like a really close story, they like close votes, they had like an idea.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I'm excited to see where it goes. Oof, who
Yeah,
you don't have as much of the context because you're still
yeah.
not super caught up. But who did you end up voting for?
Well, I mean, I voted after I read Supermassive, which we're gonna get back to, and I went with Marshall. Because Marshall seems to be a little bit more comfortable with the power.
Yeah, I just I love Nathan. I just relate to Marshall a little bit more on the like feeling like a screw up and a bunch of stuff, and I'm just like I just want Marshall to be happy. But oof, there's some stuff, yeah. But
Yeah, but like
Supermassive, great
yeah,
issue.
like I will say though, like it like okay, maybe it's just American comics in general, but it has the sarcasm, like the sarcasm Olympics in this issue. Like they are just snarking every page, and I am living for it.
It's so funny. They're all just these are it's so funny because like they are not a team. They are just a collection of people.
Yeah, and the funniest thing too is that Marshall's the most meta because he loves this kind of stuff.
Oh my god,
like
Marshall's
like
so excited to be there.
like no, remember the first remember last year's Supermassive where he basically shows up. Wait, you guys started the crossover without me?
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
Oof.
But
But
so the story of this one is that they basically are looking for like a holy grail, and they're going through like some crazy trials.
yeah.
They meet someone that killed the very first Rogue Sun, like this female knight that killed the original Rogue Sun
Well, they killed one of the
600
old.
years ago.
Yeah, they killed one of the Rogue Sons. I don't think he was the first.
Oh, okay, probably not. Yeah.
Anyway, I'll let you know. I know you said you're gonna keep you up. You will get some contests for the Rogue Sun stuff once you catch up, because there is some stuff that that probably wasn't like that big of a deal in that comic, but once you like
Mhm.
are caught up, you're like, ooh, that's why he wasn't untransforming.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
But
because I saw what's his name. I mean, I saw the other guy like just floating like constantly the entire time around,
Yep.
which is really interesting considering the fact how Dead Lucky's powers work.
Yep.
where
Yep.
where she has her ghost, she has the ghost of her team, like the entire time.
Yeah,
But
my biggest thing with this issue was like they're so snarky, everything's so meta. There's a lot of cool stuff there. But you were talking about how these crossover issues seem like their own little thing. I just remember what they remind me of. They remind me of like the Kamen Rider like crossover movies, like the summer movies. I think where
oh
it's just
man,
like they're vaguely canon, but if you go into them like knowing nothing, you can still just kind of watch them.
oh man, I forgot to tell you to watch Zenkaiger versus Don Bros because that got subbed.
Oh, that got subbed. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I'll watch
it
the
got
Kaiju
subbed.
versus Don Bros for next week.
Okay, yeah, so Zen, yeah, like all you know is that Zenkai feels like an extended episode, and Don Bros is Don Bros.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so yeah, like the way that they actually like normally do versus movies, is that they have like kind of like an act for like one series, they have an act for the second series which is completely unrelated, and then they meet in the middle. They don't normally do that for Sentai, and they did it for this one, and the results are polarizing, at least from what I've seen on Twitter. That's what I will say, and all I will say is that Don Bros is Don Bros.
Yeah, I know someone that I watched did because I told you I thought this got subbed a while ago, but I guess they had just watched the Raw, who talked about how like they were a bit, I think, disappointed.
Yeah,
But anyway, people are allowed to have their opinions.
yeah,
I think
but
that's kind of, but
yeah,
without watching it, I can't say much. But
yeah. But
anyway,
yeah,
we
back
get
to Supermassive. Yeah, back to Supermassive, and back to like this stuff. Like one of the things I really enjoy are some of the, like, if there's one thing I really enjoy about the medium of comics is that turning the page can have like crazy effects. Like when they see like the summoning circle and they touch it and you turn the page and it turns into a freaking like scene from Doom 2016.
no. Yep.
Yeah, like it was so cool.
Stuff like that is wild. The stuff that you can visually do in comics and animation is always like really interesting. I also really love like stuff that can get away. Like Marshall and Nathan are sharing one power, so when we get to like a room that's showing them like their deepest fears are like fused together.
It was so funny.
And
It's like, dude, yeah, it's like that's my agent. No, that's the counselor. And
his like greatest fear is like almost like a Sesame Street counselor's like puppet, and it's really dumb, but also like really fits Marshall again. Like his biggest thing being like a fear of failing
yeah, I mean,
and being a
I'm like
failure.
that's why I voted for him. And after that, like everyone actually gets a moment. Like like this really does follow Rogue Sun a lot of the time because like this is basically his it's his mission to like find the Grail. But we get some like nice things with BB where like she's flirting with this female knight.
Oh my god, that was really cute. And the female knight basically being like, I have to take this power because I can save more people with it. But oof.
We see that, and then like we basically get to the ending where like we see like a massive dragon like as like their final test, and yeah, like they're basically fighting. They're almost like they're like about to lose, and then the female knight basically says, you know what? Here, it's like it just tosses her like magic staff. It's like, oh, that's a walking stick. You could keep it. And then she does something I really was not expecting, which is Inferno Ignite, which is the Inferno Girl Red transformation call, and it is such a sick page.
It's like it's like a one of those special transformations where she like transforms and does like a finisher at the same time.
Yeah,
So it's like
and
her
it's
transformed form with the dragon in the background being slapped.
yeah, and it's so cool because you turn the page again and she slashes through, and it's basically like this night form, and
Because again,
so
we've gotten
sick looking.
confirmation that like the Inferno Girl red outfit kind of matches what you think it's gonna look like the
Mhm.
wearer. So
Yeah. And then it basically just ends with I wouldn't say like not much consequence. They're basically just fighting over the grail, because no one wants to be possessed by it.
yeah, the
The
girl
Lady
basically
Knight.
being like a thing that will possess you, and it's like a great darkness, and basically like if you it all of its trials and stuff are to make sure that like the person who gets it is like basically the most overpowered person it can, so that you can control them.
Mhm. Yeah, and then after that, it's like, oh yeah, thank you guys. It's like, oh yeah, we got some stuff too. Yeah, maybe we'll reach out, and then like BB's like, yeah, I'll see you soon. And it's not even like a big like goodbye page. It's literally just a like a quarter page panel of them just like leaving.
Yep.
Like it's so low key, and then
Yep.
you basically see the credits, and then you turn the page, and I'm not sure, is that Spawn?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is the biggest thing with that is so Inferno the thing is that portal they went into is like outside of time. So once she dies, the older Inferno Girl Red gets sent back. Her power goes to like the next person, and then Spawn, I think Night Spawn, because there's like 3 different versions of Spawn running around. Basically shows up and is like, "Let's give you a burial, old friend."
Yeah, I'm like,
I'm just like,
what?
yeah. I'm gonna be honest. There's too much Spawn. There's a lot of things I'll read probably for Massiveverse. Spawn is not one of them.
Fair enough.
Ugh.
Oh man, yeah, it's like I saw that. I'm like, oh, it's like that massive familiar, but yeah, like Supermassive. It was fun. It's a fun little side story. Like you said, it basically does it literally does feel like a Toku crossover movie where it's just no consequence. It's like if you know their backstories, you'll enjoy some of the callbacks to it. But at the end of the day, they just leave and go back on their own stories.
Yeah, it was like we have other stuff to deal with. Yeah, I think my favorite part about it was seeing Nathan and Marshall at the end being like, "So there's not going to be a magic fix to this thing."
Yeah, it's like I saw that and I'm like, I'm gonna have to vote in the poll now, aren't I?
Yeah, they because the whole thing is like they come into this being like maybe there's a magic solution to doing this. Maybe we don't have to make that choice. But
Yeah.
speaking about that, we went on about that a while. We still haven't talked about KingOh-ger.
Oh man, KingOh-ger. Talking about infighting though.
Yep. But
Yeah,
first,
yeah,
I think we finally got the new opening with Jeremy in it.
yeah. Yeah, he's actually part of the opening now. We actually see scenes of it. Um, the big thing in this episode is that what is it? Jeremy is just trying to figure out like no. Jeremy's trying to keep the peace. That's what he wants. He wants to keep the peace. We do get a lot of really funny scenes in this episode. We get Yanma's backstory, which is super cool. But yeah,
Yama's
like
backstory being really cool. Yama being given the Kumono blaster for a bit.
yeah,
And then his
and
immediate thought is, what if I use this to fuck with Rackle?
fake. Oh man, yeah, and then Jeremy's pissed because it's Jeremy's pissed because of another thing he did not tell him, which was that it's his mother's keepsake.
Yep. But
Jeremy, please communicate these things.
yeah, if you don't tell them, they'll never know.
Yeah, it's like oh, you tell good stories. Here, you could borrow this, and it's like obviously he basically means treat it with respect, but at the same time he's getting angry for something he didn't even tell him about.
Yep.
Jeremy, say like Jeremy, please communicate more. Stop being Mr. Dramatic.
Yeah. Yanma decides to cause an international incident because I guess his biggest idea is like, I have a way to use this technology. What if I basically just make a giant whoopee cushion for Rocco?
Yeah, and the funniest part is that he's the one that triggers it completely by accident because, oh my god, everyone was because Shiokara was about to fall onto it. But yeah, then we get Jeremy, like the international incident happens because like there was a Bugnarok that was disguised as Shiokara, that they start attacking, and Jeremy's angry about it because it's like why are humans and Bugnarok fighting again, and like he is not happy with it. He actually just straight up goes he basically just straight up just starts attacking the rest of the team. Like, why are you guys fighting? I thought I told you guys this.
Yeah, the main thing with that is like, you can't, I don't know, you can't blame them for fighting when the Bugnarok show up to fight. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, I
yeah.
get being mad at Yanma for what he's doing, but at the same
Mhm.
time, it's like the other guys start attacking innocent people. You can't just let them go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think it's more so just that that Yanma threw the first punch, like just because he basically
Yep.
attacked on instinct.
But he
So
takes, but he takes all of the different sabers. He gets onto the god tarantula, which is super sick. I also really like how he's got the one purple arm
mm-hmm.
to mimic his one purple arm. Very cool.
Yeah, like and he has control of the gods now too, and like it's really cool because he basically treats it like puppets as well too.
Yeah, he's using a
And
lot of like the puppet strings, a lot of the puppet attacks, and then
yeah,
he defeats the Bugnarok. But then after
yeah,
they're out of the way, you find out he actually saved him.
mm-hmm. And then he says, okay, maybe you deserve to be king. You're the only one that deserves to be king. And yeah, it's like, yeah, I was surprised that he basically just just like took everyone's says like, you guys have to stop fighting or else this. Oh man, like it's really intense. Like what happened this episode? Like
Also, like,
we kind of burned through it, but like a lot of it just really had to do with just like how like it's really focusing on how Jeremy is just very, very into his whole I'm the king to in between. Everyone will listen to me and stop fighting.
yep. And about how like he takes the gods and they end up asking Gira what they're saying, and saying they're going with them.
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely like Jeremy has a point, but at the same time, I mean like we really need to see because he attacked Death and Rock last episode because Death and Rock said, "Hey, what do you say about stopping this war?" And then he immediately attacks. So like he basically is very angry at whoever throws the first punch. Definitely.
Yep. And I do love seeing him with like all the sabers at his back. Very
Yeah,
cool.
and it's all kind of like spider webbed, which is like really like very on brand. Like
Yeah.
everything about Jeremy is just on brand.
We
And
get to see some really cool stuff with like his fighting style being based on the strings and everything. We
mhm.
also get some really cool stuff with yeah, just the spider kumenas, very cool. The tarantula god.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you said this last episode or like when we first got interested when I keep talking about how I'm dumb and I did not know that spiders were not insects.
Right.
But the whole thing about how they are how they
Arachnids.
are yeah how arachnids are like predators of insects
Yeah.
a lot of the time. So like him being the king of the in between and like trying to be above all of the insects really makes sense thematically as
Yep.
well too.
But also, I found out that scorpions are also arachnids.
Oh, okay. So scorpions are arachnids as well too, and he's basically just like no, he's not a gun. He's not a gun, but yeah, it's really interesting like what we're seeing here, like the whole spiders being a predator and like being over the rest of the insects. So we're gonna like honestly, I'm not sure where the story can go, but I will say I actually I'm surprised that we actually do have a very compelling arc after Death and Rock has been kind of jobbing it for like the past like 5 episodes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, that's just how it is sometimes.
Yeah, like, but the fact that like I said, it's very compelling. Like, him, like, making sure that he's making sure that, like, he's trying to keep the peace. So I'm like wondering like what the next step is after this. Like, okay, so like how like honestly, how is this gonna resolve? Like, he's definitely not gonna stop the war, which is definitely what's gonna happen. Like, there should be a bad guy, but then again, we came off of Dawn Bros, which did not have a real bad guy either. So I'm honestly not sure as to what's gonna go on right now.
Yeah, yeah. Everything's intense. I'm not. If you would have told me this is how we'd be dealing with what we'd be dealing with, I know, in KingOh-ger, I would have been like, yeah, I have no idea where we're going from here. Uh, Again, the only
Yeah.
thing I can think of is like uh Jeremy becomes be enough of a threat that like the humans in Bugner have to team up to defeat him. In which case they would they would basically do the thing he wants them to do, which is work together. But
Oh man, not
but
not another Zero Requiem story,
but
please.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Oh man, you watch Code Geass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Not another Zero Requiem, please. I mean, like, the other thing too, though, is that, like, despite this being the main part of the story, like, Jeremy's whole stop the war, Rackless still exists.
Yep, and we
And
haven't
we don't
even
know his entire deal.
we haven't even dealt with that. We just know that like there is some stuff missing from history, which Jeremy was like, "Hey, do you guys know about that?" To which he responds, "I asked you a question first."
Yeah.
But
Oh man, yeah. Like, once again, I don't know if I'm gonna get tired of it, but at the same time, it's kind of funny how Jeremy just withholds information because he's such a drama kid.
that's just how it is sometimes. That's just how it is.
Yeah. Yeah, like he's content with observing, but at the same time, it's like when he offers information, he doesn't even give all of it.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Oof. And with that,
Yeah.
we're close to really going over the half hour. So with that, we will be ending it off.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to get ready for your showing. I have like a few hours until my showing, so
Yeah, you need to finish
oh
packing
man.
and stuff. But with that, we will
Oh
let
yeah,
you
I know.
guys go. Thank
Yeah,
you so
that's right.
much
I'm
for
going to
listening.
Japan.
Yep, our boy's going to
Yeah.
Japan. He'll go visit whatever he can while he's over there. And but yeah, thank you so much for listening. Sorry, I ended up forgetting to watch Jasaris this week, so we will talk about 2 episodes of Jasaris next week.
Yep.
And we'll see even when we get to record that, because he'll be out, so we don't know time wise when we're gonna get around to doing it. But hopefully we will. And with that, thank you so much for listening, guys, and we will see you next time.
Later.
This program is brought to you by
Our unending love of tokusatsu.
If you enjoyed the show, please be sure to like and subscribe.
And hit the bell for notifications. And if you would like to support us further, consider becoming a patron at our Patreon, Half Hour Henshin.
You can get some exclusive benefits, such as your name in the credits and joining our sticker club. Or, if you want to help with a one-time donation,
You can also find us at Ko-fi at Half Hour Henshin. You can email us with any questions or theories at halfhourhenshin@gmail.com or on Twitter at halfhourhenshin.